everybody? Welcome to the Common Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I got a horror classic for you. Today I am reviewing 1988's Child's Play. Yes, that is how old that movie is. It came out in 1988. When I looked at it, I was like, 1988? Really? It was that old? But yes, Child's Play. AKA, it would go on to spawn the Chucky franchise. A franchise that has been going for a very long time. Chucky is one of the all-time slashers. He's one of the most well-known, well-recognized slashers. That doll, the concept, it was a play on the concept that's been played with a billion times. Even before Chucky ever came out, there was a horror movie. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was a horror movie called Doll. I remember watching it. It was older. I think that even happened before Chucky did. But and there would be a lot of horror movies revolving around dolls that came out after this. Obviously, Annabelle and things of that nature. But Chucky's the one, dude. He's the one. He's the most iconic killer doll. Scary doll. Like, that's the one. And it started with this franchise. And the Child Play franchise has kind of like had an evolution. Because there were 3 Child Play movies. The first one being the best, and it getting worse and worse as it goes, although the other 2 are still fun as well. Then you have Chucky. Chucky started getting his own movies. You got The Bride of Chucky. You got The Seed of Chucky. Then you started getting these other movies they started making, The Cult of Chucky and these other Chucky movies. And now he has a TV show that's called Chucky. So Chucky's been going on for a long time. Not to mention, Chucky has ruined the name Chucky. I don't know anyone named Chucky anymore. If anything, the Child's Play franchise has done a great job ruining that name for anyone. But I digress. The original Child Play is actually a pretty straightforward, sorta straightforward slasher, really. This is the first one, and honestly, I still think. And you know how I am about the first of something. Sometimes it's just, I still think it may be the best. From a film standpoint, from the storytelling standpoint, it may still be the best. Because, Charles Lee Ray, serial killer. Can't remember his name. It was like something slasher. Something slasher. They found him. The cops found out where he is. That's where it starts, is he's running away from the cops. And the cops finds him, shoots him dead. He's dying, and he's holding a Chucky doll in his hands as he's dying. And he, he takes out this amulet and starts shouting this voodoo shit into the sky, and as he's dying, and he dies with the doll in his hand. Now, we know what's happening. If you've even seen the trailer, you know what's happening. But turns out old Charles had one little gambit. He had a friend who had taught him some voodoo shit. And he didn't know it, and the thing about it is, he didn't know if it would actually work. He just was dying, and he said, fuck it, I might as well try this crazy voodoo shit my friend told me once, and it worked. And his body was then transferred into the doll. Cool beans. Problem is, the longer he's in the doll body, which is a running theme throughout the Chucky franchise, the longer he's in the body of the doll, the more permanent being in the doll becomes. The more that becomes his form. And the cool thing I liked about the movie is they really play that up. It's like literally throughout the course of the film, the doll slowly stops to look like, cause the doll is a buddy doll. And he looks like, it looks like something, a combination of it's kind of like a grown-up Cabbage Patch Kid. Okay, it's the best description I could kind of give you of the buddy doll. And, it's like any other freaking generic-ass doll that they've come up with to give to children. And the longer the movie goes on, the more his features, Charles's features, start to come on the doll, and the more the doll starts to look like him, the more he starts to feel, the more he gets stuck in this doll form. So he comes up with a plan, great plan, to steal the body of this boy named Andy. Because Andy's mother, who knew he wanted one of these dolls, thought she found a nice cheap one on the side for half the price. Fuck yeah, I I'm gonna take it. Turns out that motherfucker was alive. And Chucky goes on to spend the rest of the movie attempting to find a way to isolate and talk Andy into giving him his soul. And at first he tried to talk to him. He was just trying to bullshit. Then he was like, I'm taking your fucking body. And that's the Child Play franchise. Oh, in a nutshell, he would spend the next 2 movies hunting Andy's ass down. No matter where he went. He would just be coming after Andy. At a certain point in one of those movies, he ended up killing the guy who came up with the buddy doll. So, but that movie was really good, especially the way they shot it. The camera thing they would do where they would like have a camera and they'd have like this little feet going and they'd have the camera and he'd cut back. Like they would literally show you his angle. I thought that was really cool. The creepiness of him and how quickly he could go back into that form. And how really, until this movie, you never really realized, at least I didn't, just how much easier it would be for a serial killer to kill people when they can just pretend to be a normal, ordinary doll. And, you know, and like I said, the first movie is the most pure movie because it's him trying to get out of this form. Later on, it starts to just become him having, like later on, he's just kind of accepted. Well, not completely accepted, but he doesn't care as much because he knows because he survived so much. Because they really make it so that all these Chucky movies are canon. There is no real reboot. It's just canon shit. This crazy shit. All this shit happened. So after a while, he's used to dying and coming back and getting another shot at this, and he could just do that over and over again. So after a while, it starts to become less urgent. It's not as urgent as it is in this first movie. And the actor, I can't remember his name, something Dourif, I can't say his name correctly, but the actor who voices Chucky does an amazing job. He rivals England. The actor who voices, who does Freddy Krueger, he rivals him in terms of being hilarious because Chucky has some funny shit he says. To this day, the funniest line I've ever seen in any movie was in, what was it? Was in this one. When he's going up the elevator and the woman sees him like he's like prone in a doll form. You know, he doesn't want to alert her and make her freak out and scream or something and alert people. So he's in, but it's so late in the movie, he's starting to look more like his human form, which is deforming this doll. And it's making the doll look kind of ugly. And she's like, that's one ugly doll. And as the elevator goes up, you just hear him go, fuck you. I just remember a lot because it was just so funny. It's just, hey, fuck you. Like, he was willing to risk it for that just to tell her to go fuck herself. That was funny. But Chucky is one of the funnier fucking slasher characters. He's an icon in my book. He's one of the OGs. He's right there with Jason and Freddy and Michael and all of them. And he's still going strong to this day. You know, season 2 of his show just came out. So Chucky's still out there kicking ass. And you know what? And it all started with this one, the Child's Play franchise. The actor is great. He's both funny and scary at the same time. The concept of a serial killer having the concept of a serial killer being in the body of a doll, the concept of a killer doll anyways is always kind of creepy. The concept of a serial killer being in a doll, how they use the camera to really, in the movie, like I know some people kind of look back and they just think slasher, but how they use the camera to really show his perspective of how easy it is for him to get away with killing people when he's in this form, how he can do it and no one even knows. And it was just like, wow, that's kind of scary. And for all those reasons, I give the original Child's Play as a horror movie a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great horror movie. I think it stands up. I think it's still fun. I think it's still cool. If you haven't seen it for the first time ever, I think it's still creepy as hell. As a movie, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. But I think as a horror movie, it's one of the best of all time. Like the original Child's Play. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Also, go check out Chucky's new show. I haven't watched it yet, but when I do, I will review seasons 1 and 2 of it. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching the Cop Game Movie Show. Please comment below. What did you think of the original Child's Play? Have you seen the original Child's Play? Please like and subscribe. As I said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.